Welcome to ASCENT. I'm Fiery Grace the Gifted. I'm here with a divine feminine reading for the collective. This message feels that it's coming from a bit of a different place. And I'm getting the sense that this is a message either from your inner DM, your actual like 3D DM, your more DM like guides, if that makes sense to some of you. There's just something very masculine coming through about this message, and yet it is not for or about the DMs. It is about the divine feminine. It is for the divine feminine. So I've already blessed and shuffled. I have a lot of work I need to get done, but I just know that this needs to be said for some reason. So I'm going to split these decks and I'm just going to lay everything out. I just want to see if I can get an idea of what it's about. That way I can clarify for some of you. And if not, then I think that if you've been led here and you feel like this is the right message for you today, if you've been feeling, I will say this, if you've been feeling a sense of dread, looming doom, existential fear, and again, you can't figure out why. I'm not talking to those of you who know exactly why you're afraid. Like, I'm talking to those of you who are feeling things and sensing things that are kind of without explanation, rhyme, or reason. Okay, so I think that should help some of you figure out if this is right for you. All right, let's go. All right, so what do we have here? Okay, Four of Cups, and look at that. That is exactly what I feel. Normally, Four of Cups is a divine masculine figure or male figure. This is a divine feminine female figure. This is like birthing pains. This is crazy because I just realized this is a cup of your own drinking. Does that make any sense? You know, this points me to the Nine of Swords. Eight of Swords, too. Self-fulfilling prophecy vibes. Whew. I just got a sense like, oh. Can you see the chills? I just got a sense of like nausea. It's just like washed over me. Ugh. Oh, I've never had that happen. Ugh. It's crazy because like the last public reading I did feel like I was gonna like brr, but it wasn't like this. This is like a wave. Like it's still there. It's like a wave of just ugh. That was like so intense. I was like, I'm gonna something explode. This is like, ugh. Okay. Again, what's that? Four of Cups, Eight of Swords, Nine of Swords. If you feel like you cannot figure it out and you cannot explain what's happening right now, but you're looking around and there's nothing happening in your life, you should be at peace. You should feel okay. This is definitely, you need to watch this. Why? Because you're missing something. You're missing something. You know what's funny? The image I get almost immediately now, the wave is gone. I feel fine. I'm done. Get it. Someone throws you a surprise party, and all day long, everyone's acting weird. People who normally wish you a happy birthday don't. It's like your expectations of, at the bare minimum, what would occur on this important, day were already, what is that, flouted, whatever. You knew that you were going to at least get this, and you didn't even get that. And then it even seemed worse because it was like, now that I don't get any of that normal, now that I don't get what I thought was coming, And now everyone seems to be just wrapped up in their own chaos. What does that mean for me? You know, what does that mean for my life? What does that mean for my future? Like, someone who cares a lot about their birthday feeling ignored and feeling like they were forgotten, it can create a sense of, who am I even, right? If I know that everybody knows how much I care about my birthday, and yet no one seems to care, who am I even? I know that might sound crazy, but that is the vibe that I'm getting. I get the sense of, you have this horrible, horrible feeling that everything's going wrong right now, and now you've begun to look at yourself. It was like after a long day, you know, it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and normally by now your mom and your dad and your sisters and your cousin and your dad is saying your birthday song, and it's like no one noticed you. No one noticed you did your hair for your birthday. No one noticed your new dress. And look, you're not even asking for a lot, but I mean, no one's even smiling at you. It's almost like people are avoiding. It's that sense of, okay, am I missing something? Yes. Yes, you are. But see, because everything's going so wrong, you don't think that's what it is. You're not thinking you're missing something. You're thinking, no, I know exactly what's going on. And it's like, but have you not considered that maybe what you're getting right now is leading up to something? Have you not considered that maybe there's more than meets the eye? What is this doing to you? What has this been doing to you spiritually? Oi. I feel like it's been making you feel like you have kind of, I don't want to say no other option, but that's what it feels like. It's like one road, one path forward. You feel very much alone. And it's kind of crazy because this does point me to last year. You know, it's 20, right? But it's not just about last year. But last year did make the way you're feeling right now kind of feel like that last moment before you go do that, the big thing, or go leave or whatever. Like, there's this sense of, if this had happened to you at the beginning of 2020, if you had felt this way last year, and I think that some of you probably did, right? And what still, if you had felt this way last year, maybe you would not have the sense that you have right now. Maybe what is on your mind about how to move forward would not be so, I don't know, I just get this resolute, just, I'll do it, you know, like, fine, right? It's like, maybe it wouldn't be like this. But after everything you went through last year, after all the experiences and all the pain and all those expectations that God, yeah, just, I mean, yeah, at this point, your spirit feels like, I gotta move forward. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get away from here. I see kind of 8 of Cups vibe here. But it's 8 of Cups with anger. It's 8 of Cups with bitterness, except I think that many are trying not to go that way. Like, they're aware that there is an increased chance of bitterness from what they've been feeling, and they're trying not to. It's like that year that they forget your birthday, or so you think. And mind you, the surprise party is still coming, like that night at 8, no matter what you do. But every hour that passes by that day, that no one says anything, that you're left to your own device, left to your own thoughts, you get closer and closer to this decision of, you know, this is my problem. I keep expecting people to love me. I keep expecting people to want me. And you kind of do, you get into this down in the dumps, but in a way that I think is probably the healthiest down in the dumps you've ever had. Because instead of just getting low and being miserable and getting like really nasty with people and whatever, no, you kind of go within and you say, you know what, I bring this on myself. And you decide, I want to start to open myself up to what God has for me, what divine source, spirit universe has for me. I have to stop expecting so much out of the world, out of the people around me. And it's interesting because it's like a good feeling and a bad feeling at the same time. So to me, what I feel here is, again, going off the same old someone forgot my birthday thing. It's like, Okay, by 2 o'clock, I'm crying. It's like my dad didn't even call me with my birthday song, so I don't know what's happening. You know what I mean? And then by like 3, 4, 5, you think to yourself, this is my birthday. How dare me even allow? You know what I mean? And so it's interesting because you're starting to progress through this, but you still are doing so with this missing piece. I personally believe that the missing piece is something about your DM. I personally believe it's either, something you're going to hear directly from them or something that you misunderstood about them. It could be about twin flames in general, but I don't know. There's just something very, again, masculine coming from this message. It's funny because I just had that whole I didn't know I was pregnant thing. What is that about? All right, keep going because I don't know what's the point of that? I mean, I do get birthing pains, but I don't. Is this like the final moment between whatever you were supposed to be pursuing? Okay, the goosebumps are back. All right, hold on. Okay, so it's 6 of Cups in reverse. I'm curious here. What is this? 9 of Cups upright. All right, we've got something going on here. Because we've got cups, cups, cups. We've got 6 of Cups on the board in reverse. And we've got the Judgment card out. These two, I feel, are really strongly for the Divine Feminine. I mean, look at this. Look at this. I am having an incredibly powerful reaction, and I don't know what's happening yet. But I have a feeling it has something to do with this single cup. Why? Because in the 6 of Cups, the larger figure gives the smaller figure a cup with a flower in it. The 9 of Cups, the Divine Masculine, has the 9 cups in a row, and we tend to think what's going to bring that to completion is 10, the fullness, right? We see the 4 of Cups, which has the cup coming from, from the side, from God, Source, Spirit, Universe. You can call it that. You can even say that it's coming from like a low vibrational place, because sometimes you can think about the aces and how they have like the bigger hand, the white pure hand of God, Source, Spirit, Universe sticking out, whereas in the 4 of Cups it's like this little like cloud with the hand, and sometimes you wonder, is this dark cloud coming to deliver something negative? Is this a lower vibrational entity, higher vibrational entity? So it's interesting because there's something surrounding this cup, and there's something surrounding the Divine Feminine's view of it, whereas the Divine Masculine knows exactly what to do. I'm wondering if the Divine Feminine has to let go of the cup. Wow. Because it's not your cup to drink. It's the Divine Masculine's cup. When you drink this cup, it makes you bitter. When the Divine Masculine drinks it, it makes them complete. That feels like a riddle, doesn't it? It's like, what? You can I was trying to think of a riddle on the spot. I guess it's not that easy, right? You can, I have space but no room. You can enter but you can't go outside. And you can't lock me. It's, what am I? And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like, I'm a keyboard. And you're like, what? Like, what? But then you think about it and you go, oh, that's how I feel right now. So let's take a second. Divine Feminine has a cup. Every time the Divine Feminine drinks a cup, makes the Divine Feminine feel like, I need to move on. I need to move forward. I can't be here. This isn't the right place for me. I'm not on the right path. Every time the Divine Feminine drinks it, it says, this is not where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be somewhere else. There's something that's meant to make me feel full and whole and happy. Well, the fact that we've got what we've got on the board tells me that Divine Feminine, you need to let go of this cup, because this is not your cup. This is clearly Divine Masculine's cup. This was the cup that God was supposed to be offering them, and you took it. You snatched it. You said, that's my cup. No, I'll take it. Oh, my DM wasn't around, so I held on to it. And it's like, listen, imagine this. Imagine you're freaking Indiana Jones and you're going on a quest and you do all this stuff in the movie and all the music is playing and it's like, everything's going so fast. I'm running from the villagers, and I make it into the holy place, and then I break all the stuff, and all the walls are falling, and I get to the place where the freaking holy grail is supposed to be, and someone already done came and got it. Are you fucking kidding me? That's what you've done to your DM. Okay. So, DF, where did you get that cup? Here's the hard part. I don't know what the cup is. I don't know where you went to go get this grail. All I know is some of you have either gone and stolen the cup, like you've gone that far to go thinking you would help. Oh, I'll help. And it was like that was the only way your DM would get their strength, right? If the mama bird flew the baby bird everywhere, the baby bird would never learn how to fly. But the mama bird will make that baby fly, even if it has to kick the dang baby bird out of the nest. You just flew your divine masculine around and made their wings weak. If a butterfly, if an animal that insect that goes from like a caterpillar's type to like a flying type, if it does not go through the process of pushing out of its cocoon, well, guess what? Its wings will not be strengthened enough for it to survive, and it will die. You went and you tried to take that cup and you drank it not knowing that it was not for you. You drank it and you said, ooh, this is bitter. Yeah, you weren't supposed to drink the bitter cup. You were ready. You've been ready. You opened your arms. You were ready to go. You did the work. You planted the garden. You already did. Why are you drinking your DM's cup? You are not the divine masculine. You are the divine feminine. Why are you in this? Your divine masculine is saying to you, hey, have you found my... And here's the worst part. Oh, I just heard some of y'all, and some of y'all about to be super ooh. I just heard, hey, babe, have you seen my cup? And there's this sense of... Have you ever seen in movies that common trope where the husband asks the wife, where's this item? I can't find it. And the wife's like, did you look for it? And he's like, yeah, babe, I looked for it. And then she like goes into the room and it's right there. And he's like, oh, babe, I guess I'm just not worth much of anything good. And we just accept that as normal. Okay. Well, I see that here. I get the sense of when the DM comes to you and says, hey, have you seen my cup? You're going to assume you haven't even looked for it. The other day, Mr. Lightwork used my headphones. Some of you guys don't know this, but I am super germophobe, like super duper, always have been. I don't eat after people. I don't eat at the potlucks. Like I won't even touch people. Like I'm just really weird about germs, really weird about energy, just really weird. And I'm very, very, very weird about what goes into me or like, you know what I'm saying? So putting the same straw in my mouth as someone else is kind of like gross already. And then thinking about what's in the bottom of their cup, you know what I mean, is like the problem and the reason why I won't. So when Mr. Lightwork says, or I look up and I see him using my headphones, and I'm like, what, Mr. Lightwork, you already stole my other headphones. And he's like, how can I steal your headphones? We live in the same house. And I'm like, you don't understand. I bought you, like I had to buy myself another pair of headphones because you used those headphones. Now you lost those headphones. And now you're using my new headphones, and now I have to buy myself more headphones or clean these headphones, but does it really matter if you're just going to keep using them? Well, turns out, he said to me, you moved them and I can't find them. And I was like, because it does happen. It does. I'm not going to lie. It does. He doesn't look for things very hard. He just looks around. He doesn't actually try most of the time. So, okay, it's a trope, but it's not necessarily, 100% true, guys. But anyways, lo and behold, I did move him. But when I tell you, because they were originally mine, and so I think one day he just kept leaving them everywhere, and he leaves headphones out like in the dust and stuff, and I'm like, you're gonna make yourself sick, like putting dirty headphones into your ears because it's got like dust. And so I always put them away, and I guess one day I finally just put them away in my freaking box, and yeah. So I freaked out, and all along I was wrong. Literally the whole time I was just wrong. I could have just cleaned the headphones. I get it. I'm just tired of cleaning headphones. I think that they're very hard to clean. So I'm just being my germophobe self. But the truth was, in that moment, Mr. Lightwork was 100% right. I moved his stuff. And my common understanding of The trope of men not looking for things, plus Mr. Lightwork not looking for things, made me just automatically assume that he was freaking crazy. And when I realized I couldn't find the headphones and that we stay home, so there's no way he could have lost them, because he did lose his, he lost headphones last year because he leaves stuff in his lap when he's in the car and then he gets up. So again, my assumptions could have been, but because we've been at home, something in me said, did you move it? And I checked the first place I would look if I were putting my headphones away and they were there. What the did you do with this person's cup? What did you do with it? Do you even know what the cup is? Do you know what the DM was out there supposed to be using, supposed to be doing? Why did you let it get that far? Why did you even go get it in the first place? There's all these questions. But overall, I get the sense of, why are you so unaware of what you've done when the Six of Cups in reverse clearly says to me, you know something's wrong. You know that you're missing something. You know something's wrong. You feel it in the air. And now your DM is coming to you and saying, like, you did something along the way that created an additional issue for me, and I'm not even as awakened as you. You are the one who has to figure it out. I mean, because think about it. Mr. Lightwork moved into my house, my apartment filled with my stuff. I'm divorced. I'm grown up. I got all kinds of stuff in my house. He has a drawer, some space in the closet, and then like 2 drawers in the house. But otherwise, all of this is my stuff. So why would I expect him to go through my stuff to find his stuff that I hid from him? I wouldn't, right? That would be silly. But when knowing he only has a few spaces in the house, because he doesn't have a lot of stuff, he's a dude. Well, if I, knowing that, check these spaces and realize, dang, his stuff really isn't in the space it's supposed to be in, I have to go check my stuff. So you need to ask yourself, how much space does your DM really have in your life? Like, what have you given them? A lot of you have given them a lot of space. You need to go look in their space to make sure that whatever it is that they were supposed to be working on, doing, etc. Like maybe you have a book or something you were supposed to give them and you forgot. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. But it also could be a spiritual thing. What is it that you've been doing out here? What is it that you've been missing? Because it seems like you either have something and you're not aware of it, or there's something coming like a few hours away kind of thing, like a surprise party, and you're misunderstanding everybody's motives and you're looking at things from the wrong perspective. There is so much here, but I think what's really important to say right now is that it does look like the divine counterparts are being impacted by a lot of icky ego vibrations. But it's something so easily washed over, like a birthday, right? Oh, you have a birthday every year, and that might be what you tell yourself at first. Not every birthday can be a win, right? Or maybe you tell yourself, you know what, next year I'll make my birthday better. But it's like, no, something's wrong here. Something is wrong. Something's up. And I just get a sense here that there is and I know I get it, because everybody always says, oh, you're always after the divine feminine. It's like, yeah, but you're the one watching the reading. You came to a divine feminine reading, and when I encourage you guys, I literally have an entire playlist of videos called Be Encouraged, Divine Feminine Encouragement. I mean, maybe 1% of the collective that watches my channels will watch that. But everyone watches the love letter. So it's like, I get it. You come here and you're thinking, oh, here you go, Grace. But you know what? You guys are more likely to watch me tell you where you're fucking up than to where I say to you, you're on the right track, do a good thing. So you got to ask yourself, why are you here? Why are you watching this particular message? And why do you have this feeling of dread or fear or doom, looming doom? Because to be honest with you, the divine masculines not being aware, not having a full understanding of the journey, if at all, not really knowing what they're doing, the fact that they are moving forward and doing better or making strides, Of course it's going to look a lot better on them than it does on you doing what you've been doing. Of course. Because in this case, it's like you're the big sister or big brother and they're the little sister or little brother, and you know better. So when someone comes in and says, hey, you moved something, you took something that you just kind of did, and this is where I think that some of you are like, well, Grace, why would I go through all the trouble, right? The Indiana Jones style, going on the quest to get the Holy Grail. Why would I go through all the trouble of going and doing that and then not be sitting there waiting for my DM with the cup? Because when it didn't produce the result of union like you wanted, you freaking threw it to the side and thought it was junk. Ooh, ouchie, 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 ouchie. I know it hurts, but it's the truth. This relationship started off so sweet and so pure for many of you. But when you offered this person your cup, when you said, here, take this flower, it's all I have. It's my purest form of love. It's my ancient love. Would you take this? And they took it and did not appear to immediately turn around and give you what you wanted, which, let's just be honest, you wanted to be together. You looked at them as if, I don't know, like as if they took your flower. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's not exactly what happened. And then the true case is there are many of you who aren't even with your true counterpart. You're not even with a DM. And if they are a DM, they're not your DM. And because you have a false understanding of what twin flames is even about, it makes things really complicated. And it makes you think something's wrong with you. That might be your bitterness. The bitter cup may very well be, jeez Louise, that you went and took the dang Holy Grail and gave it to the wrong person, gave it to a person you claimed was your DM, and now your real DM, ooh, ouchie. That really feels like a very strong message. That feels like a really strong message. Some of you, this is not just with your actual person. You're slipping, you're making some mistakes, you're being a little bitter. You're not seeing the truth. You're not seeing how close they are. You're not realizing that all this time that everyone seems to be turning their back on you, it was just because they were trying to surprise. You're not seeing that, right? But then on the other side, some of you don't know that all the effort that you made and everything you did to kind of cut yourself off from the world, except the person you wanted to call you, blocked your true divine counterpart. Blocked your path to get to the true divine counterpart. And now you're sitting in this place, in this space, in this world that doesn't feel like home, and you can't figure out why. No offense, but seeing emotion, and then judgment, this is a terrifying card. You know, in the Christian text, it talks about Judgment Day, and I think if you're not a Christian but you've heard about it, even if you don't believe in God, there's probably going to be like a little bloop, little instant where you go, ugh, that sounds scary, you know? Like, just imagine it, right? Okay, it's this claim of at some point you will be at the seat of the throne, or at the very least you will be, before a council of your own brothers who has this movie of your life playing, and they say, what about this? What about this? What about this? As a Christian, the blessing for me, I don't fear Judgment Day, because it's like, I know that either I'm going to be on that council or I'm going to be sitting there naked, and Jesus is going to come throw a robe over me and say, nah, she's with me, y'all. We good. I don't even have to have my trial. That's how I feel and see Judgment Day, right? But I know that there's another side to it. Judgment Day is terrifying. So to see emotions, Judgment Day, to see the divine feminine arms outstretched, please, but the divine masculine holding back, but looking, means the divine masculine is missing something. They're missing the emotional connection, the relationship with God, Source, Spirit, Universe themselves. Divine feminine, there is a lot happening here. And I think what this is saying for some of you is you gave the cup to the wrong person, and now God is trying to get in touch with you. And you're so afraid that you've built this house of cards on this relationship dynamic that is not even for you. Some of you, you're so mad at your person that you can't see the work that they're doing. You, think about it this way. You were expecting Judgment Day. So you got your arms open. You even told your kids, right? You told your babies. You planned for Judgment Day as a part of your light work, maybe. But, for some reason, your DM doesn't know what's going on. They don't know what's happening. They're not sure. They don't understand why, but they're still spiritually aligned enough, whether you believe it or not, to at least come out when they hear their name called. I'm telling you, they're so much stronger than you think. 2020 opened their eyes in ways you will never understand, because if you're not a divine masculine, you don't know what 2020 did for them. And if you're not in union, you're still not able to scratch the surface. I can kind of scratch the surface of what 2020 was because I was in union in quarantine with my DM. You know what I mean? Can you say the same? And it's not to be like, aha, look at me. It's saying, do you really think you know what's going on? Have you really seen them? I still think that I barely understand how much he's grown and how much he's changed. And I'm in the house with him 24/7. So I just want to make sure that wherever you're at on this spectrum of fear, and wherever you're at in terms of, who your true twin flame is or what, there is a lot here that's saying, divine feminine, that whole thing you guys do, okay? I think that when I was in the Twin Flame Collective, I never said this. I know I was only in it for a little while. I know my situation's different. I get it. But when I was a part of just like the viewer collective and not a part of like as the teachers, readers, leaders, guides, whatever you want to call this position that I'm in here, and not in union, you know what I mean? I get that. Like, but when I was there was never a point where I listened to a reader, because you guys know me being the coach that I am and all of that. The readers that I did listen to, there was only like 2 or 3. They seem to have a focus on, growth for the feminine, education, helping the divine feminine understand things better so they could grow. But even they like would slip and they would fuck up and they would talk about the DM or they, and I was like, nah, something's wrong here. So I don't know. I can't really feel where you're coming from with the whole, like, why are you always picking on the divine feminines? It's like, well, I'm doing a reading, and it seems like what you're really saying is, why aren't you telling me that my divine masculine is going to call me tomorrow and give me what I want and marry me? And why are you telling me that I have to do work? And it's like, I don't understand. Do you really only watch tarot to get like a future date of union? Is that why you're here? And if you're really only watching it for entertainment purposes, like, then why do you even care what it says? I don't really understand some people sometimes. But for those of you who are here to be like, no, I do. I want to see if there's something that will click for me, if there was something that will make sense for me. What are you really getting out of this? What is it that drew you to this message, and why are you afraid? What is it that maybe you think you could have grabbed a hold of, not knowing, and accidentally tossed aside, accidentally put it away? I remember I got a card from my grandma, it was like 6 months after my birthday. And she's like, I found this. She said, I put this $25 away from you, but I hid it from myself too good. I'll never forget. And I don't know why, but I always remember now as an adult, like, don't hide stuff from yourself too good. So it's like, how many of you accidentally lost sight of something that you took? How many of you, in pursuit of some other person that was not your DM, have essentially built a gigantic wall between you and your true counterpart? Again, nothing that you do can ever separate you from your person. However, you can definitely increase your challenges. You can definitely make things feel more difficult. You can definitely spend a lot of time in a negative or low vibe from a lack of understanding because you put the missing piece away. So, we're going to get at this final message. I felt like it was really important to go as deep as possible here, because a lot of people cannot afford to get a public or a reading. They won't get like a personal reading, and they watch these public readings and they're looking for these answers. But then if I'm too afraid to tell you the truth because of the naysayers, as you guys like to call out, if I'm too afraid to say it, right? Then how are you supposed to, how is it ever going to click? I have to tell you what I see. How many people do you think are truly sure of who their twin flame is? If you've had to order more than one reading, because some of you order like 10 or 15 asking readers that, then you can't sit here and get mad at anyone who tells you you don't know who your twin flame is. Because you don't really know. You're asking us to tell you, and that's not what you're supposed to do. So there's a lot of energy here that I don't know, I feel the DM. I feel where they're coming from. So I want to see. I feel like this is their message. I feel like this is what they were trying to bring our attention to. I think they were trying to bring our attention to the fact that tropes and themes and all kinds of things in our normal life have really permeated our relationship. The fact that there are, common poor choices and negative behaviors and things that we do that we would do in our regular world that we've now applied to our twin flame bond, to our twin flame relationship, to our twin flame dynamic with our person. Like, there's so much that because of our emotional instability, whether it's in everything or just in some things, that has created this sense or this feeling that says, hey, DF, the fuck are you doing? Again, this isn't for everyone. And there are some of you who you just needed to be reminded that someone's throwing you a surprise party and it's right around the corner, and you could have clicked off a while ago. Maybe you click off now. But there are some of you who for some reason cannot seem to believe that. Your whole thing is, no one's throwing a surprise party for me, Grace. I don't know what you're talking about. And it's like, why are you so mad? Why is it so easy for you to just lean into that negative idea that no one cares about you and then just kind of carry it around? Is that what you filled your DM's cup up with? Oh, Lord, child. I think it's important to ask yourself before you get this message what this does mean to you. Whether this means you have been living in a sense of pure crisis for far too long, worried about a person, whether this means that you just have this sense of not being able to go forward until you know how you can go forward with your DM, whether this means that you were about to start a quest to go get the dang cup, Indiana Jones style, not knowing that that was the thing that was going to make them strong enough to be in union with you in the first place, because that's their job, that's their first step towards completion. Whether you think that your DM ain't and you're the best, and you ignore the fact that you've got tarot, you're aware of twin flames, and the truth is they're better off than you in many cases because they don't even know why they're moving forward. They can't even see the carrot. You have union and your DM dangling as a carrot in front of your face, moving you forward in your journey. They have nothing, at least nothing that appeals to them. I'm just saying that you've got to figure out why this is coming through and why you're still watching before you get this message. Okay, ready? We'll flip along. Ha! Ooh, hi. Oh, okay. Okay. Too many things are happening. So what we have is a mirror. Okay? What we have is a reversal. This is a very clear delineation. Why? Because over here we're dealing with this ego, this yucky vibe, this whatever, and then you see that coming over here with the DM taking charge. And then over here we're kind of dealing with these issues of not feeling loved, not seeing the love in the behaviors of those around us, of God above, We see these things coming through and us realizing the real reason why we're having those issues. You see, you keep pointing a finger at your guides, at God, Source, Spirit, Universe, because for the first time in your life, for many of you, not everybody, but for many of you, for the first time in your life, you have been shown something you cannot have. And you're like, I don't understand, Grace. I thought I could have my DM. It's like, yeah, you can have your DM. No problem. But you can't have them. You can't possess them. You can't choose when. You can't purchase them. And until you understand what that does to you, that need that you have to control and possess, until you understand and admit, I think, that when you're not in a good space, you get into a really, really bad twin flame toxic cycle. If you can't acknowledge these things, if you cannot see yourself for who you are, you're going to carry these same traits, habits, feelings of sadness, pain, etc. into the new. Divine Feminine, lay down your sword. Lay down the self-fulfilling prophecies. Okay? Lay down this kind of creation of karmic energy, which to me says, again, you're meddling, that's not for you. You're up in business that is not about you. Your divine masculine, when they come in, they're going to have a lot of work and healing and all kinds of things. And I'm not actually talking about for them to do on themselves. I'm talking about you. So please work on you. Work on you, okay? Work on you now. Work on you every day. Never give up on it. Stop getting upset when a reader says something about you. But being cool with the reader dragging your divine masculine through the mud. Don't worry. I'm the type of person that everyone used to say they wanted to hang out with, but then would talk about behind their back. I had a very small circle. Obviously, I still keep it that way. I get it. I get it. Everyone wants to be around the person who keeps it real until the realness comes for them. I understand. Don't get me wrong. But that doesn't mean I'm going to stop talking just because someone out there thinks that I should. And it doesn't mean I'm going to lie to you just because I know it might make you feel better. I'm going to tell you the truth. And the truth is, your DM wants you to know something. 9 of Cups and 4 of Wands. That's my vibe right now, DF. My dream is to experience something beautiful with you. My dream is to have a moment with you. A moment of paradise that just doesn't end. But unfortunately, you won't let me. You don't like the way I'm going on my journey. You don't like who I'm using, what I'm using. You don't like the tools you don't like anything about my journey because it doesn't fit you, your needs, your wants, your vision. But I love you so much, I'm not even going to let that stop me. I get it. I get it. I get that I haven't always been on my game. I get that I've been foolish. I get that I'm not aware all the time of everything I should be aware of. And I get that there's a lot that you've tried to help me come into awareness about that I didn't hear it. But what I want you to understand is that my intention was never to break your heart. I don't even know how I did it. I don't even know sometimes how I caused or created the pain. And I think the issue really was, deep down, I wanted to be with you. Deep down, I wanted to share and expand with you and grow with you. I love you. I also loved so many other things because my idea, my understanding of what love was so small and so petty that something that was not as important as you easily knocked me off course. Easily. But I'm not that person anymore. I haven't been that person for a long time. But I don't know how to tell you everything because I'm still in this state of release. You know, I honestly thought coming into 2021 that my life would be a lot clearer. My path would be a lot clearer. But I realize that now that I went through and I ended things, now that I went through and I cleared the path and I did what I had to do, before I can move from this space to the next, I have to clean up. I have to. Or else this, the whatever it took for me to get here will be overshadowed in the very near future by everything I left to fester. I'm sorry if that is making you think that something's wrong. I'm sorry that I don't know how else to tell you because I can't get through. But I want you to understand that where we've been, where we're going, completely different. Completely different. You're not going to recognize anything really. But right now, all you can see is the clouds. And I'm confused because you're the one who showed me to look beyond, to open my eyes to what could be missing. And all you see is the clouds because you're blocked by pain and sadness and worry. But I see what I saw before. I see what I saw last year, which is an opportunity to heal and to move forward. I hear the call. Don't you hear it? All I know is I had to tell you this. I had to tell you because if I didn't tell you, you wouldn't have realized that it was time. And all this time, I thought you were waiting on me, and now I get it. You needed to know from me that I forgive you, just like I know you forgive me and always will. I forgive you, and I love you. And now I actually know what love means. I know the feelings, the difference and can really tell the difference between the feelings of what I thought was love and what it truly is now. I'm ready to move forward. I'm ready to lead. I'm ready to experience the duality of being with someone and sharing a life completely and wholly and fully, and yet also being myself and doing what I'm meant to do. But I need you to be joyful. I want what we had before. I want things to be special and feel different and open up my life and my world like they used to. And I need your help with that because it kind of feels like your swords, your blockages were specifically designed to block me. And I can handle some of it, but the truth is you have to open up because some of this I can't do it alone. I'm running up against this with the battering ram trying to knock it over, and I cannot. Because while your love is magnificent and wondrous, I can't even see the top of it. The depths of your fear, they're like a black hole. Only you can close that off. I'm not asking you to be the one to heal your own heart. I want to help. I want to be a part of that. I feel like it's the best way to get to know you is to come and put together all the broken pieces right alongside you. But I can't even get that far. And I'm afraid that if you don't allow that to happen, if you don't look around and see that maybe you might have the key in there with you, my goal, everything I've been working towards, the union, the beautiful life together, the loving family, the prosperity, the abundance, all these things that I'm barely understanding, that you seem to know so much about? How is it that you've missed the memo that these energies, these vibrations don't fit into that world? Now, you called me on so many of these things for so long. I get that I'm coming to you now and you don't want to hear this from me. I get it. But I love you enough that I'm going to say it anyways. Mm. Sheesh. Yeah. Okay. It opened Ace of Swords. Listen. The suit of air represents our intellect. It's where we make decisions, analyze situations, and give voice to our thoughts. Air is aligned with justice, truth, ideals, the legal system, communication, and other intellectual areas. As fear and worry generally live in the mind, this suit can also denote struggles and concerns in our lives. A challenging beginning, turning a negative into a positive. See the truth of the situation. Your new understanding replaces previous misconceptions, and now you're ready to move forward. All right, I was really coming to look at this. Wow. This is a message from Archangel Gabriel, people. It's time to review your plans according to this card and look at things from a new perspective. Ask yourself, is it possible that a different approach would work better? Although it may feel like events have come to a standstill, this is temporary. Make use of the extra time you've been given to rethink your strategies. You may need to step outside of the norm and the mainstream right now and embrace your unique and eclectic beliefs or attitudes. It's also a good moment to be generous with your time, attention, and gifts. This tithing is returned by the universe manyfold to you. Epiphanies, selflessness, unexpected life changes. The need for patience, the power that lies in being oneself, unusual solutions. Archangel Gabriel is the angel who helps people become divine messengers of love. When you think, act, speak from a place of love, others are irresistibly drawn to you. So many of you, you watch these readings and you're actually doing a great job. You're really, really positive. You're so empowering. You do all the work. And the plain, God, honest truth is it's just not time for you to be with your person. It's just not. And nothing that I say here is going to really apply to your situation. You probably shouldn't even be watching readings because someone probably told you a long time ago that it's not time for you. It's going to be a while. Or they just told you you're never going to know when it's coming. It's just going to pop up on you. It's going to happen when you least expect it. So some of you right now, what I'm about to say, it doesn't even apply to you. And then you come in and you type and you go, not me. I do the work, or I'm not worried, or I'm not stressed. And I don't, then why did you watch an hour long? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, come on. Okay. But then there's the rest of you, you know? And there's those of you who you have been steamrolling your entire union journey, your guides, your friends. You only do what seems to be good to you because someone told you that since it felt right and it resonated, just go with it. Some of you don't know context. You don't even understand it. Some of you, you're just so mad and you won't admit it that you can't go anywhere. So some of you are here right now just to hear me tell you that, listen, it's not your time, right? And the only real issue, the only real heartbreak, the thing your DM maybe really did want you to see this message for was just to say, hey, listen, it's just not time and you've got to release the heartbreak about that. You have to, right? But then there are others, I think the vast majority of you who are still listening, who know exactly what the fear has been all about. You know that it is about union, it is about your DM, or you know that you've been using your DM as your distraction. And oh my gosh, I get that. I get that of being in a place of, maybe we have, ideations, right? Maybe I don't want to be here anymore. And then I meet this person and they make me want to be here. And it's so feel so good. And I feel alive for the first time in so long. And so then, when things don't work out, you know what, that's okay because I still feel alive and I'm happy, you know? And so then I find these readers in this community and I feel alive still, right? Because there's this hope that this person is right there. And then all these people, they feel the same way and we're all alive. But what happens when you finally realize, if you continued that entire time and you never said, thank you for the boost, person, whoever you were, whether you're my DM or not, thank you for the boost. Thank you for waking me back up. And now while I'm alive, let me find something else that's going to make me feel alive other than a person. You know what I mean? Instead of finding that path, that road out of the death and the darkness and the fear, maybe you kept relying on that person and then the community and then the hope of union. And now it's been months or weeks or years and I get it. I know some of you are like, Grace, no, I don't have that much. I don't put that much stock. Okay, great, cool. Then what have you been so afraid of? Whatever it is, your divine masculine needs you to heal your heart, at least a little bit, so they can come in and help. But from the very beginning, I saw a cup very clear. Wow, the King of Cups is directly underneath that. I mean, how freaking obvious can it get? Did I not pick this up to see that? That's crazy. That's crazy. The King of Cups is directly underneath this. But anyways, I see the divine feminine and I see a cup. And from the very beginning, I get the sense of the divine feminine kind of bringing on these fears. Does that mean that there might not be actual fearful things happening around you? No. Like if you live in America right now, this is a weird time. Mid to late January, kind of a tough time for us here, okay? You live around the world, there's still stuff going on globally. We've got everything happening that started last year, but guess what? There was stuff going on before that, and there's stuff that was going to happen after. We are in the middle of a really crazy time in history. I get that there are reasons even beyond just union to be afraid. But for some reason, the DM knows that something about what you drank, most likely it was that you took a cup that was designed for them. And you might go, why would it be okay for anyone to drink a cup of discontentment and boredom? Well, it was given to your DM over here, just so you know. It was given to your DM over here so that they would transmute the energy into something positive. They were given the cup of discontentment and boredom and bitterness and anger and hate and just yuck, I don't like my life, so that they would leave the situation that they were in and move forward. That was never your cup, honey. Never. So you've got to ask yourself, okay, am I afraid of what's going on in the world and I just need to find my center? Am I afraid of something that's happening in my own life and I just need to find my center? Do I have a legitimate reason? Like, am I being kind of just my normal, fearful, anxious self and I need to kind of, rework on my coping mechanisms, or is it something else? Okay, maybe I'm just afraid about union because, well, we've already talked about that. Stop watching so many damn readings, making you scared all the time. There is an answer. And I think that that's what my channel I try to get across for you guys. And I think that's why, in spite of the fact that I somehow make you guys feel like I'm attacking you and make you feel hurt and like I'm yelling at you and all these things, that all this victim mentality of just pushing forward of just, Grace, you hate me. You must hate me. You don't understand me. And yet I keep coming back. You know what it's like? All of that, all these messages are coming through. You feel all these kinds of ways. Obviously something's going on. Can you just ask yourself and be logical for a second? Don't base it off of, oh, well, I felt my DM was stressed, so then I was stressed. Well, here's my thing with that. You're weak. Oh, Grace, that's mean. Well, I'm for real. I don't understand. If you feel across the country that your DM is hurting, so you allow that to ruin you for weeks, that's not you holding space for your DM. That energy hit you so that you could transmute it. You know, not so again, when we see this sense of what did you drink? What did you take that wasn't yours? What have you brought into your own life that wasn't necessary? And why is your DM in the midst of their unawareness, their unawakened, there is a part of the entire DM collective pushing through to these divine feminines saying, "What's going on? Why are you so sad? You're not the person you were when we met." I get it. I get it from every angle. I know some of you think I don't, but the only way I would feel it or see it or sense it is because I've been there or I know what you're dealing with. I just feel like it's important for you to hear this message today. Please like this video if you think that there's anyone that needs to hear this. Please like this video and subscribe just to have one reader, really, I hate to say this, but have one reader who actually has your back. I cannot speak on everyone else, you guys. I can't. But you can say, well, Grace, why do you, if you don't watch other readers, then how do you know? Because y'all email me, because y'all comment, because I have clients who have worked with people. I cannot pretend that that's not happening. Our collective has been in the news again for being a cult. I cannot sit here and play pretend with you guys. That's not my job. I want you to see this and I want you to understand your DMs are coming to you this is a direct message from the very beginning. I could feel the sense of fear. I could feel the sense of this emotional disconnect, emotional overwhelm. I could get the sense of the self-fulfilling prophecy. And then yet again, we've got this kind of 1, 2, 3 open. There's the blockage is the DF. The blockage is the person who wants to swear up and down that they're not blocking it. And if you're not, then you don't need to type it. You don't need to say it. You just know you're not and you can move forward. Your divine masculine has something in mind. There is a goal. There is something they're moving towards. But if you don't believe, if you're now starting to question, because some of you guys, this is an extension from the previous reading where you were questioning twin flames. Some of you, you didn't go that far. You didn't go so far as to question your DM or da-da-da, but you've just been feeling bad and you couldn't explain why. And I think that this is saying, listen, like you're starting to question things, regret decisions, all of that. I think the best move here that you can make is start to heal your heart, start to deal with things directly, and make sure that when your DM shows up in your life or when you guys come into union or whatever the next stage is, just make sure that there's not a bunch of messes for them to come in and clean up and that you're not letting other readers, teachers, guides, gurus, friends, family, whatever say to you, yeah, when they come back, make them beg for it. When they come back, let them clean up their mess. When they come back, cuss them out and tell them all about themselves. If they love you, they'll take it. You know, it's like, don't. Some of you only want to work with me and you want to get a love letter or you want to get like a quick reading and you want to move in. You know, you just want you want to know when union's coming. Some of y'all need to work with me as a coach, period. Some of y'all have the worst attitudes, super negative mind frame. Some of you are so positive, but then maybe you're like, I don't know, like you're naive or you're too positive and you just, let people walk all over. Like there's all these different combinations of personality and family of origin story and just there's so many things that make us who we are. And those of you who know that this is not the first rodeo, right? This might be your first time as a twin flame, but this is not your first time around, dealing with people and running into the same walls with your relationship dynamics. This one just hurts worse because it is the twin flame. Oh my gosh. Like some of y'all hate my channel or don't subscribe but watch every so often because you're like, shut up and dribble. So I hear people say it all the time and you get blocked real quick. And I feel bad for you because you will never have another chance to engage with my community unless you just create multiple YouTube pages. But a lot of y'all get blocked like that. Why? Because if you come in and you tell me to shut up and dribble, you don't even need to be a part of this. You don't need to hear these messages because the messages, you're a leech. You're just sucking them in. But those of you who are like, no, Grace, I kind of like your stories. It's like, are you actually, I'm not just telling you stories. Do you guys just think I'm talking to talk? I'm not. And some of you guys the way that you see the world is your real problem. Some of you, the way that you perceive love and relationships and what is owed to you. Some of you, the entitled way that you act about your DM. There's a reason why. This is what I'll say to close this out. Look at what you do watch. Look at what you do watch. Look at the readings, but also look at everything else. If you spend most of your time watching toxic television, listening to toxic music, if all of your favorite musicians or artists are always in the news for drama and, marriage problems, divorce issues, just keeping just pettiness, just fighting. If your whole world is consumed by twin flames or anything else and you're consuming the toxic part or portions of it, if you go back through and you say, okay, I'm gonna do what Grace said and I'm gonna unfollow, 95% of the readers, really, I'm just gonna clean up all my social media, and you realize that you have to unfollow a lot, if that is a long endeavor for you, that right there should be your clue that you created this and drank out of the cup. You chose to follow those. You chose to watch those TV shows. You chose to get caught up in the drama. And now you're trying to blame your DM over here who's living their happy life. Be cautious. Be careful. Change your perspective. Pause for a second. Use the time you're being given to slow down, look at your life, and trust that you're moving forward. Things are moving forward. Trust it. You can either go really low, or you can go really, really high. And I think that you got a little bit turned upside down on your quest for this person who was supposed to be questing for you. I think that in the mess, in the thick of things, you thought, because you still had your arms outstretched, I knew. I should have said it from the very beginning. I told myself the sense I had was 10 of Wands, and it was the stress part. It was that you were creating stress in your life. Focus, Grace. You thought that this was still you. You thought, oh, I've just been standing here especially since 2020. I've just been waiting for my DM. But what you didn't know is something happened, and it turned everything upside down for you. So you ended up in this position here. And what that meant for you is that you technically thought the bottom of the ocean was the sky and the top of the sky was the bottom of the ocean. So you've been at the bottom of this ocean of pain and sadness, stuck in this, what felt like this gray for so long because your world got turned upside down. Do you want to know who that happened to in 2018 and 2019? The DM. Did you guys know that? All through 2018 and 2019, I saw red on top, purple on the bottom. And what that meant to me was like the chakra system, or like a rainbow reversed. And that was the DM. But what was interesting was everything else. It wasn't like a rainbow reversed or the chakra system reversed. It was simply that the red had become the crown and the purple had become like the soles of, or the feet, right? And what that meant to me was I thought I was aligned. I thought I knew what I was doing. So what are the odds that the divine feminine would drink of this cup and then end up completely turned around? You got so wrapped up in your DM's energy. Some of you are so proud that you can feel your DM in pain that you don't realize that may not be what you think it is in terms of like a positive. It might not be as good of a thing as you think. And it might not necessarily make you be in the aligned area that you think. If you can feel their pain that much and it affects you that much, you might actually be turned around just like they are. Where everything else in you is pretty much aligned, but the codependency has become your spirit. And your spirit is something that you just trod on and walk all over. You ignore the truth of your spirit. And instead you focus on the things that are going to make you feel safe. No offense, divine feminine, but it kind of appears that and I have to go back. I have to ask myself, where am I in this too? I tell you guys that all the time. If I am led back to watch one of my readings, sometimes I'm only led to look at the chat. Sometimes I'm led to actually listen to certain points. Sometimes I'm told, hey, you need to watch this. You need to experience this the same way that they would. I'm just telling you, looking at this, I see this sense of, okay, where is it that I have been turned around, but it looked like I was doing the right thing. But yet something in me, I was having this existential crisis. I knew this was wrong. I hope that this gave you guys enough time also to kind of be together in the chat. I have to go do readings for real now. Like, this is really important, but I just needed to make sure, right as I say that. Yeah, I needed to make sure that these feelings, this anxiety that I know is not mine, and every time I do a reading, it goes, right? I understand what's what and what comes through. I understand that you are in pain, but what I want you to know is that this 10 of Wands energy is what you're about to create in your life moving forward. So this is not just a please get the message and then go forward with your life thing. This is a, if you don't get the message, I heard someone say this the other day. They were talking about where they had to leave a job that they really, really liked, or that they thought they liked. They thought they needed. They thought all this. And so, you know, they go and they see a therapist, and their therapist says, you need to take a month off from work. And if you don't take this month off from work voluntarily, there will be a point ahead of, you where you are forced to. And I'm getting this sense for the Divine Feminine Collective that says, if you do not deal with this fear now, if you cannot deal honestly, even if you pretend in the chat that you got it all together, if you cannot on your own, in your own space, in your own time, come to terms with what bitterness has been created in you, how this might be different. Some of you never were obsessive, never were whatever, but then when you finally discovered twin flames and then your person like left or you left or whatever, when all that happened, you became that way for the first time and thought it was okay or normal, right? There are a lot of things that need to be looked into. Why? Because one of the things I'm going to start to address, and I know people are not going to like what this makes them think, but it's true, and I think it's important for us to reflect on this. What I'm going to begin to address moving forward, there's a reason that me and Mr. Lightwork rebranded, and you're going to start to understand soon. One of the reasons why twin flames the community can be so icky sometimes, or so it can feel like such a low thing even on a personal level, is think about when you discovered it. Think about where you were in your life. For most people, it was not just, hey, I have this amazing love. In fact, if you guys had all just met someone, been really happy with them, and had the fairy tale romance that you've told yourself that it has been, you never would have discovered twin flames. Why? Because nobody goes to the internet and looks it up when everything's good. They look it up when it's too intense, when it's scary. They look it up when it abruptly ends. They look it up, you know what I'm saying? They look it up when there is a block. So I just want you to remember that some of you are not even twin flames. You found something and you needed an answer and you had it, and okay, right? But that's not most of you. The rest of you who are twin flames still need to think back and ask yourself, where were you? Many of you were in a really terrified, anxious, low vibration, in a state of confusion when you discovered this. And guess what? When is it that you want to tell a friend or a family member about it? You don't tell them when they're good. You don't tell them when they're happy. No. And maybe you mention it casually like, oh, it sounds like twin flames, like you guys are soulmates. And they're like, what? And you're like, nothing, ha. But it's when they're dying inside that you go, listen, I think you're ready for this now. And I need you guys to understand the ramifications of a collective of people coming into a concept that way. So take your time with it, because your divine masculine has been saved from all of this toxicity. Mr. Lightwork hated it. It was one of the reasons why I could not get him to focus on his channel before he became awakened, before he was flooded with love in his heart. so much love for everyone that he moved past the bitterness. He moved past the psychosis. He moved past the fearful, anxious energy that just made him just, ugh, stop. He moved past that. And now he's able to really bless you guys and love you guys. That happened because he was flooded with love. Your DM is having the same experience, but they're not where Mr. Lightwork was, meaning they're not going to know that you've been around people who've been talking trash. They're not going to know you've been watching readings, and you know what I'm saying? They're not going to know all of that. They got saved from this. If you can get yourself out of this, you will be stronger than you ever thought you could possibly be. If you can work through what twin flames as a concept and a community in the low vibe has done to you, then you can enjoy all the things that twin flames was meant to bring to you on a high vibe. Okay? All right. I gotta go. I feel like there's so much more to say, but I feel like this should be a very freeing reading for many of you. Even if it brings a lot of your mistakes to the forefront, it is also going to help you realize if it's been me all along, then I can definitely fix this, okay? I can definitely make this better, right? Okay. Thank you guys for being here. If you like this video, do like, share, subscribe, comment. All the YouTube sings. Please don't forget Mr. Lightwork's birthday is on 1-2-3. Aha, 1-2-3. His birthday is this weekend, if you're watching this now. And I still don't know what to get him because he's not really a gift person. The only thing I know that he really wants right now is a wireless mic and a gimbal. He's been like really looking. So if any of you guys are like, oh, I want to give him a present, you can like give him an Amazon gift card or something, or just send him cash or whatever through his like Cash App or whatever. But I need some ideas. You guys got anything like, because you guys know gifts is my love language. It doesn't mean I just like to receive them. It means I like to give them. And a part of me was like, just give him money, right? But I don't know. That feels weird. Like, here, person in my house, here's some money. Isn't that weird? But then it's like, you can buy what you want. I don't know, but I know he's only going to get a gift from me this year. So I know I have to do something. So give me some ideas, because if I'm going to order something, I have to order it like tomorrow. Oh my goodness. Anyways. Hello, welcome. Just make sure you wish him a happy birthday on Saturday, please. That's the reason I said it again. Thank you. All right, welcome. I'm Fiery Grace the Gifted. You know what? I should tell him. Did he tell you guys yet? All right, Grace, finish the video. All right. I'm Fiery Grace the Gifted. You know that by now. But if you don't, hi. Welcome to my channel. I'm an intuitive life strategist. That's why my readings aren't like anything you've experienced on YouTube. If you maybe know some other coaches who have started to use tarot cards, that's probably more what I am. I'm a lot less of a reader and more of a coach who has these pictures, you know. But being a prophet of Adonai, I do believe that the messages that come through are the messages that no one wants to deliver and no one wants to hear, but everyone should. And so I'm really honored and blessed when you guys take the time to listen to these, especially the tougher messages. And I love those of you who know that I'm not yelling at you, who know that I'm not even a little bit mean. I'm a very sweet person. I just gotta say what I gotta say when it comes through, and truth hurts. I know it does. Ugh, you know. So I appreciate you guys for the support and for loving me enough and loving truth enough to not allow that to influence and impact the relationship that we've been able to build, if you guys do know me. And if you don't, get to know me before you make a flash judgment on why I'm speaking the way I'm speaking, okay? And I just noticed this, but do you guys remember the 6 and 9 thing that kept coming up in that reading we just did the other day? You see that? There's 6 again. 6 here. 6 here. Okay, Grace, focus. That's my socials. I don't really do much with social media right now. I think that once I have more people following me on Facebook and Instagram, I will do more with it, but I try to go where the people are. I want to be. All right. And so I tend to do pretty much everything on and through YouTube. Okay. Now, I do offer long term coaching. Please be aware that if you've submitted an application in the past 2 months, I have received all those of who, have sent them back, and I will be setting up for new coaching contracts coming up in the next several weeks going, and this will lead us through the summer. So if you're interested in working with me through winter or spring, especially for, I recently did add twin flame coaching to my long-term coaching. I still have not added readings, and I won't. So just throwing it out there, very transparent. I do not do readings as a part of coaching. Those are completely two different things. So if you find that you don't really value my voice and my words and my credibility as an academic and all these things, and you just want like to sit down and talk to a prophet about cards all day, that's not coaching. Okay, that's, you just want to hang out, and I totally dig that, but that's not. So please make sure when you apply for coaching, read the information. Don't just submit the application. Okay, read what it's about. Find out more information before you go too far. Okay, awesome. Now, for those of you who are like, yeah, Grace, I don't need a coach, I need a reading. I need to talk to you on the phone. I need to vent. I need to talk to you in your DM. You can work with us in a variety of ways. Just check out the website, thefierygrace.com. My Gmail is thefierygrace@gmail.com. You can reach out to me there, and you'll receive an auto reply back that lets you know what it's like to work with me. And there's some information in there you can kind of click around. You can also just go to the website, click around there. It's not all just about readings. I have all kinds of other things that I do and offer. I accept PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo. And right now is a great time to get love letters, personal readings, and divine masculine readings. Those readings are all on sale, and there's also the site-wide sale I'm doing as well. So I tell you guys pretty much what is going to be like at the best price right now. But I highly recommend that those of you who are interested in going beyond just, hey, where's my DM, when's my union, that if you want to work with me, get a phone call. They're cheaper than readings. And if you want to work with me as a coach, great. But guess what? Did you guys know that I actually teach people how to do this? Not tarot, but what I do. Did you guys know that I've been working with clients and helping people launch their home-based and online businesses for over the past couple of years now, just on YouTube with you guys as a community, but I've been doing it for over a decade? Did you know that I have an MBA and I'm really good at business? I'm overwhelmed, don't get me wrong. I have thousands of clients. I don't think there is a way for me to run this crisis ministry and be as accessible and available to people and actually feel like I have any time or sense of organization. But for those of you who want to do something that's a bit more manageable, or maybe you want to do what I do, I don't know. Did you guys know that I did that stuff? Because I feel like we focus so much on this, and then you say, well, Grace, you talk so much about light work and you talk so much about, getting our life together in our business. It's like, yeah, because I'm not a reader. Does that help? Maybe that helps. Does that help? So yeah, if you need me for other things, I really recommend them, but I get it. I know people want those love letters. Shout out to the love letters. I love you guys. I just love hanging out so much. I tell myself every time this is going to be a short, but I just want to be with you. I just want to be in your space and in your presence. So I got to go. I love you though. I really hope that whatever you were meant to hear from this, it clicks. Whatever, I think there's a new beginning. There's like a, we talk about the portals, right? There's just this new energy that you can walk into having this peace, but you got to find it. You got to seek that peace. Remember, if you're a Christian, you're watching my channel, I'm a Christian, Messianic, Jewish individual, whatever, like, go read your Bible, baby. Go open your Bible. Get on your knees, prostrate, face down on the ground and pray if you're really looking for answers. Everyone else, go to your center. Whatever your center is, go find it, okay? Get yourself that peace. If you need it, go to the reading I did about your guides and your it's funny because that was a message from guides, and now we've got a message from DM. DF, you're getting a lot of attention right now, but there's a prayer at the end of that if you're interested, for peace, and maybe you might want to check that one out. I don't know, but all right. I love you guys. I gotta go.